Well, hello and welcome to Game Faces coverage of Round 2, Rochford Wine's Match of the Round here at Gembrook Recreation Reserve. Today's matchup being played between Gembrook Cockatoo and Mount Evelyn. Round 2 action, as I mentioned, between these two sides. Mount Evelyn, of course, coming off a win of the Professionals Cup last week to the tune of 10 goals over Wandon. Gembrook Cockatoo coming off a pretty heavy defeat, it has to be said, to the hands of Monbulk. 85-20 was the final score on that game. So, pretty different story for both of these teams. Gembrook Cockatoo, of course, looking to get their first win season 2025. Mount Evelyn looking to make it 2 from 2 as we head into season 2025. I'm Adam Miller taking you through all of today's action. Don't forget as well, at 2:20pm, we do have the footy between both of these clubs as well, Mount Evelyn and Gembrook Cockatoo. 2:20pm, that will be through Facebook, the local footy hub, and of course Yarra Valley FM 99.1. But for now, it is going to be the netball, which is due to start at 12:15pm. So only just a couple of minutes away just now. So looking forward to what should be an interesting contest between these two teams. As mentioned, we take a look at the starting lineups as well for both of these teams. For Gembrook Cockatoo, Briley O'Neill lines up as goal shooter, Jordan Lesky as goal attack, Rachel Williams lines up as wing attack, Mary Miles jumps into the centre, Carla Crowley starts as wing defence, Sarah Delaney starts as goal defence, Bianca Nagel's goalkeeper on the interchange, Abby Luttrell and Jacqueline Carroll. For Mount Evelyn, pretty settled side, it has to be said, from last week. Rory Barr will start as goal shooter, Ava Upton as goal attack. Caitlin Hoskin comes into the side, starting as wing attack. Ella Bayliss will start as centre. Kayla Swindle as wing defence. Jacinta McGinley as goal defence. Caitlin Black, of course, goalkeeper. And starting on the interchange will be Gabby Bingley and Jess Hoskin. So not too dissimilar to the side that did play in the grand final last year, and unfortunately for Mount Evelyn, just went down by 1 goal to Narry Warren. The good news for them is Narry Warren no longer taking part in the Outer East competition. They've moved across to the Southern Football Netball League, so great opportunity for them to try and make season 2025 their year, and they did that quite well, starting off with a win over Wandon last week, one of the main competitors probably for that premiership, and a good opportunity on a nice sunny day, it has to be said, to try and go 2-0. So action shouldn't be too far away. We've already had the toss of the coin a couple of moments ago, as Gembrook Cockatoo currently doing their warm-up at the moment. Mount Evelyn with a little bit of a pre-game chat being conducted by Coach Caitlin Black. As we take a look at some of the other matchups for today, Emerald will take on Hillsville at Pepper's Land. Wandon take on local rivals Wurrialloc at Wandon North Recreation Reserve. Upway Tacoma will take on Rock. Lindaferny Creek will take on Monbulk. So they're your fixtures for the rest of Premier Division. We then take a look at the Division 1 fixture for round 2. The Pakenham Lions will take on Powelltown. Yarra Junction will take on Yea. Yarra Glen take on Belgrave. And Seville will take on Alexandra. Warburton and Millgrove, of course, having the bye this week in Division 1. So looking forward to some of those games and seeing what some of the scores will turn out for round 2. Of course, this is our Rochford Wine's Match of the Round. If you're just tuning in, between Gembrook Cockatoo and Mount Evelyn, play due to start right about now, so shouldn't have action too far away. Looking forward to what should be a pretty interesting contest between these two teams. Don't forget as well, if you haven't already, to sign up, download the local footy hub app, sign up and subscribe to get exclusive access to plenty of other games throughout this season. We're going to be live streaming 2 games of footy every single week. This game for round 2 will be played between Yarra Glen and Belgrave. So you will get plenty of extra access. You'll also get access to stats, scores, plenty of news articles as well. So plenty of reasons to sign up and subscribe to the local footy hub. But for now, it is all about Premier Division A grade netball. It is Gembrook Cockatoo. It is Mount Evelyn. Starting us off for Rochford Wine's Match of the Round, round 2. It's Gembrook Cockatoo going to the right, Mount Evelyn to the left. It's Kayla Swindle with a centre pass. So we just wait for the umpires to sort out a couple of things, and Ella Bayliss, in fact, it is with a centre pass. My mistake. And we are underway. Rochford Wine's Match of the Round, round 2. Gembrook Cockatoo, Mount Evelyn. Ava Upton currently has the ball, comes laterally to Kate Hoskin, who's come into the side, back to Rory Barr. And once again, Kate Hoskin finds an opportunity through Ava Upton, who can get a first look for Mount Evelyn here, and a little bit off target, but Rory Barr collects it cleverly off the post and puts it away for the first goal of our Match of the Round. So Mary Miles with centre pass duty has played a lot of goal defence the last couple of seasons, so a little bit of a positional change for her. Here is Ava Upton once again, looks at Kate Hoskin but goes further. Hoskin did really well, just picking the pocket there essentially of Bianca Nagel. Hoskin, Rory Barr, already got 1 goal in the afternoon. She's got 2 in quick succession So we've already scored against the centre pass here, Mount Evelyn. Good start to Ella Bayliss. In the centre once again, Hoskin over the top to Upton. Upton waits, comes back to Kate Hoskin, controlled that ball nicely. Wasn't the most favourable pass. Here's Ella Bayliss once again. Looks for Rory Barr, but Nagel did well. Gets the pass away to Miles, who controlled it nice in the end. She just goes with a short one to Delaney. Miles assesses the options, retreats back to Nagel. Miles again. Waits a couple of moments and then did well to get that one off to Crowley. Crowley, pass up the court's a good one to Williams, and O'Neill couldn't control it. So Caitlin Black on the last line of defence does well. This is McGinley. Swindle, Black. Swindle up the line to Hoskin. Hoskin looks to go back to Swindle, and that's where she goes. Here is Ella Bayliss. Upton, not looking at a shot at goal. Once again, Ella Bayliss involved. Right on the edge of the circle here, comes back to Ava Upton, and here is Rory Barr once again. Already got 2 goals in the afternoon. And Bianca Nagel did well, right on the last line of defence. Firing it away with a long pass there was Crowley to Miles. Miles with a long one as well. That's a good one too. It was to Williams. Williams looks for O'Neill, but she's well covered by Black. Comes away doing that well to Lesky, but Caitlin Black cuts it off beautifully, but she's turned it over. Pass going to no one in particular on that occasion. Once again, Williams is involved. Beautifully done by Swindle onto Hoskin, who finds Upton. Hoskin again. And Rory Barr, does she keep it in play? Yes, she does. And Rory Barr doesn't convert. Nagel's had a pretty good start to this game, taking her opportunities when they've come to intercept, but she's turned it over to Hoskin just as I say that. Here is Ella Bayliss. Rory Barr gets another chance and makes it 3 goals for the afternoon. She's scored all 3 goals in this game so far. So Miles out of the centre. McGinley did well, cuts it off beautifully. Gets them moving to Hoskin. Hoskin finds Upton. Upton, couple of 1-2s with Hoskin and Ava Upton. Called for stepping. There you go. It's a little reprieve for the Mount Ev defence. Nagel. Short one is a good one to Delaney. Delaney gets them moving up the line. Swindle did well enough to the umpire, so she's cut it off. Kayla Swindle, nicely done. She comes lateral to Ella Bayliss, had plenty of room to work with. Here is Kate Hoskin, finds Upton, who will get a first look here, and she puts that one away beautifully. So 4 goals now for Mount Evelyn unanswered. Ella Bayliss again with centre pass duties over Upton. Hoskin, who's been very busy in this first quarter, turns that one straight over to Bianca Nagel. Nagel did well, got it away nicely there to Williams. Lesky, good long pass it was to Miles. Miles finds O'Neill, who might get a first look here for Gembrook Cockatoo. Black called for contact. Brother O'Neill needs to make this work. McGinley knocks it away and just can't control it. So Rachel Williams comes all the way back to Crowley. Miles, O'Neill gets a second opportunity here, Broly O'Neill, and she makes no mistake. So first goal for Gembrook Cockatoo. 3 goals adrift at the moment, but Mary Miles with a centre pass. So opportunity for back-to-back goals here. Williams, Crowley, long pass through the hands of Miles and cut off nicely by Bales, who moves on to Hoskin, finds Upton. Hoskin again looks at Rory Barr, but goes short to Upton now. Rory Barr will get a look here. And just like that, straight back out to a 4-goal difference. 5-1. Good early start this for Mount Evelyn. Hoskin gets it from Bayliss. Upton over the top, and Rory Barr once again makes it 5 goals in the afternoon, so 6-1 it is. So a really dominant start once again for Mount Evelyn. Williams came back to Crowley. Delaney involved too. Crowley to Miles. Miles, Williams. Oh, cleverly done. Ella Bayliss, it wasn't that occasion. Hoskin to Upton. Upton. Kate Hoskin again for a second time in this passage. Rory Barr might make this 6 goals in the afternoon. 7 for Mount Ev. And she puts it away. 7-1 it is. Gembrook Cockatoo need to find a response here and quick. Hoskin got it from Bayliss. Goes back to Swindle. Ella Bayliss again. Long pass and over Upton with plenty of room to work with. Doesn't convert, and Nagel did well off the post. Short one's a good one to Crowley. Crowley, Delaney. Did she keep it in play? No, she didn't. So Swindle, laterally to Bayliss, plenty of room to work with. She goes back to Kayla Swindle. Short pass, good one. Rory Barr works up the court. Here's over Upton. Doesn't get the second goal, and this time it was beautifully done there by Delaney. Delaney, long one to Williams. Williams, O'Neill presented. Straight through her hands, and out of play it goes. So Caitlin Blackster, in fact, on the last line of defence. Long pass to Bayliss. Bayliss beautifully weighted to Swindle. Here's Upton working up the court. Kate Hoskin. Anyone's ball there. So Crowley Delaney. Miles got a bit of room to work with. Goes short to Williams. Lesky. Miles. O'Neill. Mary Miles once again. Lesky. Caitlin Black does well. Knocks it away. So Jordan Lesky again. Caitlin Black. Doesn't let too much get through. So Lesky, does she try to go back to O'Neill? Does she go back to one of the mid-quarters? She decides to go with Williams. Swindle got a hand in but couldn't take it cleanly. Lesky, O'Neill couldn't take it cleanly. So well done, Caitlin Black. Another one-on-one win in defence. Short to McGinley. McGinley inboard to Bayliss. Bayliss goes back to McGinley. Had the short option of Upton but went longer to Swindle. Here is Hoskin. This is Caitlin. Ella Bayliss. Out wide, and a good one it was to Rory Barr. Bayliss once again involved. Couple of 1-2s now over Upton. Happy to line up the goal. So haven't seen a goal in a couple of minutes, and Delaney did well. Short one to Miles. Comes back to Delaney. Wants to go long, and that she does. Swindle couldn't quite cut it off. Comes to Williams. Here is Mary Miles. Crowley involved too. Delaney. Lesky goes back to Delaney. Bayliss did well. Long pass it was, but cut off beautifully by Nagel. Probably the best play so far for Gembrook Cockatoo. Mary Miles comes out wide. Good one it was to Williams. Williams. Crowley. Williams. Lesky. Can't find O'Neill. Here is Williams. Does O'Neill get over the back? Oh no. Couldn't take it cleanly. Tough to beat Caitlin Black in a one-on-one. Swindle. Hoskin pops it over the top, beautifully weighted to Upton, and here is Rory Barr. So I haven't seen a goal in a couple of minutes, but Rory Barr changes that, gets it back out to a 7-goal difference. Mary Miles. And contact, I think, called against McGinley. So Crowley brought forward. Williams, Lesky. O'Neill took it cleanly this time. Got to try and get over those long arms of Caitlin Black, and she's unable to do so. Swindle. Black right at a measure here. On the transverse line. Hoskin. Upton. Back to Kate Hoskin. Rory Barr doesn't convert, but Delaney unable to force the interception. And we might see a substitution here. So Sarah Delaney comes off. Jacqueline Carroll, I believe, comes on for the first time today. Upton. Hoskin. Retreats back to Bayliss. Bayliss assesses the options. Rory Barr threw her hands but kept it in play. Hoskin. Upton. And Ava Upton converts. 9 goals the difference. So 10-1 it is. Mary Miles just goes short to Williams. Very short it was. 2 through the hands of Upton. Back to Miles. Lesky comes back inboard. Carroll. O'Neill. Miles. O'Neill again. Got the 1 goal so far for Gembrook Cockatoo. Can't convert here, and Caitlin Black beautifully done off the post. Here is Ella Bayliss. Goes even longer than Swindle. All the way to Hoskin. Here is Upton. Bayliss. Swindle. Hoskin. Ava Upton to Rory Barr. Knocked away by Bianca Nagel. And Rory Barr again gets a look this to make it a 10-goal difference. And she's got it. There we go. So 11-1 it is. Hoskin receives it from Bayliss off the centre pass. Ella Bayliss controlled that one nicely. Can go back to Rory Barr once again, and she does. Got plenty of room to work with. And Rory Barr with another goal. 12-1 it is now. Dominant start for Mount Evelyn, to say the least. Carroll. O'Neill. Carroll again involved. Could go short to Williams, and she does. Lesky. Control that one nicely up against McGinley. Miles. Lesky. And Jordan Lesky doesn't convert. Caitlin Black got the hand up beautifully and gets it away to Swindle, who nearly lost control of the ball but got it away to Bayliss just in time. Hoskin, she nearly loses control. Swindle, McGinley, Bayliss with plenty of room to work with. Could go short to Hoskin. Eventually she decides that's the option. Ella Bayliss once again involved. Had Upton. Wants to go longer to Rory Barr, but then does decide to go short to Ava Upton. Hoskin. Barr got it. And Rory Barr, 12 goals the difference, 13-1. So a good start just gets even better for Mad Evelyn. Upton just got something in the eye there. Quite know what happened, but anyway, Rory Barr will line up for another goal, and she gets it as well. 13 goals the difference, 14-1. Miles. Crowley, can Lesky keep it in? She can, gets it away. Called for stepping anyway. Black had already cut it off. Swindle. Couldn't quite see it properly. Comes to Bayliss. Hoskin. Bayliss. McGinley. Ella Bayliss for a third time in this passage. Kayla Swindle to Rory Barr. Ava Upton seems to have something causing a bit of trouble with her vision. So Ava Upton is going to come off. Not quite sure the problem. Kate Hoskin is going to come into goal attack. Kayla Swindle comes into wing attack. Gabby Bingley comes onto wing defence. So a couple of changes here for Mount Ev. And Kate Hoskin, she'll get her first look at goal for today and puts it straight through. So no troubles there for Mount Ev. 14 goals the difference. Bayliss. Swindle now has moved into wing attack to Hoskin. Puts it up. Rory Barr had it knocked away, but it was kept in by Hoskin. Swindle. Rory Barr. Carroll couldn't knock it away. Nagel, though, she could. And Bianca Nagel. Well done, Miles. Control that ball beautifully. Good bit of passage here so far for Gembrook Cockatoo. Williams waits. Comes back to Miles. Knocked away by Bayliss. Not legally. Not legally. Williams again involved. Good build-up so far for Gembrook Cockatoo, but again, Caitlin Black positioning herself well. Been a tough assignment so far for Broly O'Neill. Caitlin Black. McGinley nearly lost control, but gathered it eventually. Bayliss. McGinley. Swindle. Waits and waits, and then eventually comes back to McGinley. Looked at Hoskin, but then went short to Swindle. Ella Bayliss. Swindle getting contact from Mary Miles. And here is Roy Barr. Could make this a 15-goal difference if she shoots. Truly doesn't. Bianca Angle did well. Here is Carroll. Looked at Crowley, but then went longer to Miles. Whose hand was it off? It didn't matter. Miles kept it in play anyway. Through the hands, no. McGinley gathered it beautifully. Comes back to Kayla Swindle. Has an option on the outside. And Ella Bayliss. Swindle once again involved too. Here is Hoskin. Swindle. Ella Bayliss all the way across. Good work rate by Ella Bayliss. Right in front of our broadcast position moments ago, and then right on the back corner there, and man, Ev get yet another goal. So 15 goals a difference. Miles, that's not going to work for Gembrook Cockatoo. Right in front of the score bench. McGinley comes back to Bingley. Swindle gathered nicely in the one hand. Here's Kate Hoskin. Can shoot for her second goal for the day. Nagel taken out of it, and Hoskin shoots truly, make it 16 goals the difference, 17-1. Swindle, long pass, good one. Rory Barr, Bayliss, Swindle. Here is Rory Barr. She makes it 17 goals the difference, 18-1. Mary Miles, Crowley, Swindle. How about that interception? Cuts it off beautifully. No, it is going to come back. Wasn't done legally by Kayla Swindle. Never mind. So Carroll looks at Williams. Long pass, but straight into the hands of Caitlin Black. Bayliss. Hoskin. And she's called for stride the transversal line, I do believe. Miles. Carroll. Lesky. Might get a look at goal here. Jordan Lesky goes for it. Doesn't get it. And Caitlin Black did well. Bayliss. Very, very long pass. Hoskin collected it nicely. Here is Swindle. Can she get it to Rory Barr? Yep, she can. Rory Barr. Make it 18 goals the difference. 19-1. This is just a dominant display by the Rovers at the moment. Hoskin through the hands of Crowley. Didn't matter because it fell to Swindle. Barr. Back to Bayliss. Could go short to Hoskin. Offloads it in the end to Swindle. Swindle. Hoskin. Good presentation, and she's got another goal. It's a 19 goal difference, 20-1. And that'll do us for quarter time here in the Rochford Wines match of the round, round 2 between Gembrook, Cockatoo and Mount Evelyn. And a dominant display by the Rovers to start off proceedings. 20-1 it is at quarter time. We'll take a short break for the first change when we come back. All the action from the second quarter. And welcome back to Gembrook Recreation Reserve for quarter number 2 in the Rochford Wines match of the round. So it was lateral with a centre pass, but unable to make it work. Hoskin, this is Jess Hoskin. Ella Bayliss has moved into wing attack and finds Rory Barr, who can push this out to a 20-goal difference with some straight shooting, and she does. There we go, 21-1. Dominant start continues. So Mount Ever swung the magnets around a little bit, and Kayla Swindle finds herself in centre. Hoskin, this is Caitlin. Swindle and Kate Hoskin with way too much room to work with there, and she puts that away. 2 goals in a row for Mount Evelyn to start the second quarter. 22-1. Lateral. Oh! Very big collision there, and that will be contact, quite obviously. So Swindle took a little while there, but eventually got it to McGinley. Wanted to go to Jess Hoskin. Well guarded, though, by Williams. So Delaney's back on the court as well. Wing attack on this occasion. Swindle. Barr. Puts it away. There you go. Just like that for Rory Barr. 23-1. Kayla Swindle. McGinley. Long pass is a good one. Here is Kate Hoskin. And Rory Barr can make this a 23-goal difference. Swindle, Hoskin. 23 goals a difference, 24-1. Luttrell. So Caitlin Black decided to coach on the bench for this quarter, showing the confidence of this Mount Evelyn side. Not leaving their best player out there. Here we go, Broly O'Neill. Chest mark style, you could say, and again, unable to control it. So Gabby Bingley is playing as goalkeeper for the moment. Guarded the space well. McGinley. Bingley. Here is Jess Hoskin. Goes for McGinley again, who's worked up the court nicely. Bayliss, who's moved back into wing attack onto Swindle. And here is Rory Barr. Gets yet another goal. 24 goals a difference, 25-1. Swindle. Oh, can you believe... Oh, it was contact against Bayliss. I was going to say everything going wrong for Gembrook Cockatoo, but this will work out for them. Nagel. Carroll. Long pass, very long pass, and cut off nicely by Bingley. Little underarm pass works out to McGinley. Hoskin. Bayliss. Sun in the eyes, but didn't matter. She still found Rory Barr. And called for stepping. There we go. It doesn't matter anyway. Bayliss eventually gets it under her control. Swindle. Rory Barr to the front. Can make this a 25-goal difference, and she does. 26-1. Just continued dominance here. Good, nicely gathered there by Williams to O'Neill, who presented nicely. And she's turned this one over, has she? Yep, Bingley did well. Here is McGinley. Short one to Hoskin. Jess to Kate. Bayless, Rory Barr. Doesn't convert. Nagel couldn't get it under her control. Rory Barr goes again, misses for a third time. Gets it eventually, 26 goals the difference, 27-1. Swindle with centre pass duties again. Bayless wanted Hoskin. Delaney couldn't gather it. Ella Bayless. Hoskin. Could make it 27 goals. Carroll. Couldn't take it cleanly. Nagel on the last line of defence for the Brookers. Long pass is a good one to Delaney. Delaney wasted no time to Luttrell. And fired the pass away much too quickly. And that's not going to work for Gembrook Cockatoo. Hoskin, McGinley. Out wide, good one it was to Swindle. Swindle keeps it moving. Good one to Kate Hoskin. Looked at Jess Hoskin, but then comes to McGinley. Here is Ella Bayless. Out wide, Rory Barr did well. Kate Hoskin through the hands. Flicked it away to Bayless. Hoskin. Received a bit of contact from Nagel. Doesn't convert. Carroll did well. Moves it on to Delaney. Wasted no time. Delaney's coughed it straight up and got called for stepping anyway. Bayless. Hoskin. Could make this 27 goals the difference. And she does, 28-1. So Luttrell again with centre pass duties. Knocked away by McGinley, but gathered eventually by Lesky. Comes back to Luttrell. Luttrell retreats to Carroll. O'Neill had a tough time of it so far today, but she finds Luttrell. Looked at Lesky. Bingley knocked it away. It was kept in, though, by Gembrook Cockatoo. Lesky, Luttrell, Lesky. Can she get the second goal for the Brookers? No, she cannot. Nothing working for Gembrook Cockatoo at the moment. McGinley received it from Bingley. Goes on to Swindle. Swindle. Jess Hoskin. Laterally. McGinley. Bayless. Swindle. Has got Kate Hoskin out the back, but she also had Rory Barr, and that's where she goes. And Rory Barr makes it 28 goals the difference, 29-1. Swindle. Short pass is a good one. Kate Hoskin, long pass to Ella Bayless. Here is Rory Barr. 29 goals the difference, 30-1. This is just unbelievable stuff from Mount Evelyn. Clinical. Nagel. Lesky was, sorry. In fact, Luttrell can't take it cleanly. Gabby Bingley. Out wide, it's a good one. McGinley. Hoskin gathered it nicely. Long pass to Bayless, had a bit of room to work with. Also to Kate Hoskin, she had plenty of room to work with. Here is Swindle. Rory Barr. Makes it. No, she doesn't. And Carroll did well, reading it off the post to Luttrell. Nagel. Luttrell for a second time in the passage. Had Delaney, but comes out to Williams. Williams, good long pass to O'Neill, who presents up the court nicely. Comes back to Carroll. O'Neill. And she's called for stepping. Can you believe that? Bingley, long pass straight over the head of Swindle. Delaney gathered it nicely on the interception. Williams, Lesky. Lesky, lateral pass. Carroll couldn't control it. She stepped offside anyway. Swindle. Hoskin. Bayless. Back to Jess Hoskin, right on a measure. Short to Kate Hoskin, back to Jess Hoskin. Swindle. Barr, got it. She can make it 30 goals the difference, Rory Barr, and she does, 31-1. They just keep going here, Mount Eve. Kayla Swindle. Hoskin of the Jess variety. Long pass through the hands, and Delaney will find herself on the end of this one. Just offloads it nicely to Carroll. Long pass through the hands of Luttrell. O'Neill recovered it nicely. Luttrell looks at Williams. She might have turned it over here. McGinley did well. Short pass to Hoskin. Bayless to Kate Hoskin. Back to Ella Bayless. Kate Hoskin in a pretty good spot here. She might have a look for goal, and she does, and she converts. 31. Goals the difference, 32-1. So it comes back to Carroll. Long pass, good one. O'Neill. Gets the second goal for Gembrook Cockatoo, so back to a 30-goal difference. Swindle. Ella Bayliss. Rory Barr. Kate Hoskin. Back to Swindle. Now Rory Barr can get this back out to 31 goals, and she's unable to convert. Whose hand was it off? Off Nagel. So Ev can reload. Delaney knocks it away, but couldn't keep it in play. Ella Bayliss receives it out wide. Swindle. Rory Barr. 31 goals a difference, 33-2. Luttrell. Lesky. Lateral long pass. Oh, Hoskin did well. McGinley. Jess Hoskin involved for the second time in this passage. Bayliss. Swindle. Over the top to Rory Barr. No communication there from Mount Ev. So something going right for Gembrook Cockatoo. Slapped away by Kate Hoskin. It'll come back to Bianca Nagel. Nagel. Carroll. Good pass. Delaney onto Lesky. O'Neill. Can keep it moving for Gembrook Cockatoo. Luttrell. O'Neill. Off the hands of Bingley. So Williams. And there we go. They've turned it over again. Gembrook Cockatoo. McGinley. Swindle through the hands, but she will track this back. Bayliss. Might have turned it over, but in the end just kicked away there by Carroll out of play. Everything working at the moment for Gembrook Cockatoo. Mount Evelyn, I should say. Swindle. Out wide to Bayliss. And Rory Barr. Makes it 32 goals a difference, 34-2. So they keep it moving. Hoskin, Bayliss, Rory Barr. Luttrell, Lesky, O'Neill, waits and then comes back. And here is a good one. Brylan O'Neill can get the third goal for Gembrook Cockatoo. Bingley knocked it away straight into the hands of McGinley. This will work out beautifully. Swindle finds Hoskin. Jess Hoskin to Kate Hoskin. Bayliss, Rory Barr can make this 34 goals a difference, and she does, 36-2. So Kayla Swindle, Ella Bayliss, Swindle, and Rory Barr will get another look. Rory Barr, can she make it 35 goals a difference? She can with a third attempt, 37-2. So it's back in the middle once again, Luttrell. Williams through the hands, gathered it nicely. Bayliss is going to pick this one off. She'll go short to Hoskin. Jess short to Kate, and then Swindle. Could have gone to Rory Barr, but waited, and then eventually got it to Rory Barr, who makes it 36 goals a difference, 38-2. So Kayla Swindle once again with centre pass duties. Ella Bayliss with plenty of room to work with. Good long pass to Rory Barr. Thought about Hoskin. Came all the way across to Swindle. Here's Kate Hoskin now. Does she make it 37 goals a difference? She might here. Kate Hoskin converts. There we go, 39-2. Luttrell. Long pass is a good one. Here is O'Neill. Waits and waits, and way too much on that pass. Gabby Bingley, short one to Jess Hoskin. Swindle. Good one it was. McGinley. Hoskin, Bayliss. And Rory Barr. Doesn't make it 38 goals a difference just yet. But they'll get another look here, will Mount Ev. Rory Barr. This time makes it 38 goals a difference, 40-2. Just unbelievable stuff this from Mount Evelyn. Bayliss. Hoskin. Swindle. Short one to Kate Hoskin. Ella Bayliss, Kate Hoskin. Makes it 39 goals a difference, 41-2. Luttrell. Carroll eventually controlled it, comes back to Luttrell again. Thought about Williams, eventually gets it to her. Carroll, back to Williams. Lesky, O'Neill calls for it. Luttrell did well to keep it in play. Well and truly balance. Oh, cleverly picked off though by McGinley. Hoskin, McGinley again. Long pass, good one to Kate Hoskin. Quick one off to Bayliss. Looks at Rory Barr and will that work? No, Nagel did well. Ran into trouble though and she's turned it over. Swindle onto Rory Barr. Makes it 40 goals a difference, 42-2. Just making everything work at the moment at Mount Evelyn. Bayliss waits. Swindle. Found a bit of room to work with. And here is Rory Barr. She'll make it 41 goals a difference, 43-2. Luttrell. Man, they've broken too early here, Gembrook Cockatoo. Jess Hoskin, straight back to Kayla Swindle. Comes back to Hoskin. Bayliss. Rory Barr. Ella Bayliss again involved. And Siren beats them, but won't worry them too much, the Rovers. They are 41 goals adrift at the main change here in the Rochford Wines match of the round between Gembrook Cockatoo and Mount Evelyn. 43-2 is the score. We'll head off to a break for half time, and when we come back, all the action from the second half.
I'll let you know when we're started.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep.
About 20 seconds.
And welcome back to our Rochford Wines match of the round between Gembrook Cockatoo and Mount Evelyn. And early days, Mount Ev already finding a goal. And once again, they've really switched it up in terms of positions. Gabby Bingley getting a run on the centre. Caitlin Black's come back on. This time was goal defence. Jacinta McGinley as goalkeeper. Here's Jess Hoskin, who stays as wing defence. Looked at Kayla Swindle. Caitlin Black. Ava Upton is back on after a little bit of trouble with her eye. Something catching in it, but has a shot at goal here and nearly worked out into the palms of Rory Barr, but Rory Barr eventually will get another look and she puts it away. So 45-2. Swindle, long one. Bingley, sorry it was. Here's Ava Upton back on the court. Unable to convert, and that was nicely done there. Delaney. Nagel. Crowley back on the court as well. Long pass to Miles. Crowley. Carroll is moved into goal attack for this quarter. Lesky is goal shooter. Carroll with a couple of 1-2 passes might be able to find the third goal here for Gembrook Cockatoo. Caitlin Black knocks it away, finds Hoskin. That'll work out just fine. Hoskin, Bayliss, Black. Back it comes. Upton. Bingley. Rory Barr. Can make this 44 goals a difference. She does, 46-2. Miles, Bingley cleverly done, just knocks it down to Swindle. Upton. Miles. Crowley. Eventually finds Carroll. Very stagnant at the moment. Nagel eventually fell for Luttrell. Miles, Lesky. Back to Mary Miles, who might have a look at goal here, and Lesky unable to convert. Another opportunity, though, for Jordan Lesky, and puts way too much on that one. Caitlin Black cuts it off. Hoskin. Back to McGinley. Long pass. Here is Caitlin Black. Oh, through the hands of Swindle. Didn't matter. Got it back under her control. Through the hands of Rory Barr. Contact, though, against Delaney. Bingley. Upton. Can make this 45 goals a difference, and she does. So 47-2. Gabby Bingley again with the centre pass. Swindle. Upton. Swindle. Rory Barr's got front spot, and that was pretty well done there by Delaney. Carroll. Miles. Crowley. Carroll gets them moving. Good one to Luttrell. This might work out to Lesky if she can track it back, and she can. She keeps it in play, but straight to Caitlin Black. McGinley. Jess Hoskin. Black. Swindle. Back to Caitlin Black. Kayla Swindle again too involved. Looked long at Upton. Might go shorter, though, to Rory Barr. Doesn't have the look at goal. Ava Upton will, and Ava Upton doesn't convert. Nagel eventually gets it under her control. Nagel receives it back from Miles. Crowley. Miles. Crowley for a second time in this passage. Again to Mary Miles. Nagel. Crowley. Long pass. Good one it was to Lesky. Looked at Luttrell. Came back to Miles. Lesky again. Maybe just a bit too far out to score. McGinley taken out of the contest. And Jordan Lesky will not convert. Amandev again hold up in defence. Put forward, contact called against Carroll. Hoskin, Bingley, Black, Swindle in fact. Rory Barr found a bit of contact there from Delaney, and she can make this 46 goals the difference. Nagel did well enough. Out it comes, Crowley, Luttrell, quickly onto Miles, did well not to step. Lesky, Miles, puts it up, and this should work, and Carroll will get her first look at goal. Black knocked it away, Miles recovered it nicely. Lesky received contact from McGinley. Palmed it off to Carroll. Can she get her first goal? She can. Third goal for Gembrook Cockatoo. 47-3. Miles. Nagel. Carroll. Luttrell controlled it nicely in the one hand. Miles. Luttrell. Could have gone short to Carroll, but came back to Miles. Caitlin Black, does she keep it in? No. Would have been an incredible effort. But she's not making it easy for the Gembrook goalers. Miles, Lesky. Can she make it back-to-back goals for Gembrook Cockatoo? Maybe with a second attempt. Jordan Lesky has not converted, and Caitlin Black straight onto it. McGinley, Hoskin, Bingley moved into the centre for this quarter. Swindle, Upton, waits and waits. Back to Bingley. Goes for Swindle, who got a bit of contact from Miles. And here is Ava Upton with plenty of room to work with. And she gets it back to a 45 goal difference, 48-3. Bingley, Upton eventually gets it under her control. Quickly onto Swindle. Here is Rory Barr. And just like that, back out to a 46 goal difference, 49-3. Crowley did well, nearly snatched by Swindle, but didn't allow her to do so. Crowley, through the hands of Luttrell, Hoskin straight onto it. Bingley wasted no time. Swindle, Upton, can she get it to Rory Barr? Yes, she... Oh, Rory Barr. Slipped through the hands, and Gembrook Cockatoo get a reprieve. Delaney, Crowley, Miles. Good long pass, knocked away by Hoskin. And came off lateral, said the umpire, so this will stay with Mount Ev. So Jess Hoskin will come back to Caitlin Black. Swindle, Upton. Roy Barr calls for it, gets it. And Mount Ev raised the bat for 50. 47 goals of difference, 50-3. Can they get the 100? The way they're going, you wouldn't put it past them. Rory Barr's going to find it again. Offloads to Ava Upton, who converts yet another goal. 48 goals of difference, 51-3. Miles. Crowley. Controlled nicely by Luttrell to Miles. Carroll calls for it. Got front spot there on Caitlin Black. McGinley, though, got front spot on Lesky. It was O'Neill, in fact, who's come back on. Long pass, good one. Caitlin Black, Ava Upton, Swindle, Rory Barr. Looks to make it a 49 goal difference, and she's unable to do so, but maybe Ava Upton can, and she does. 52-3. Bingley, Upton, long pass, Rory Barr. Makes it 50 goals of difference, 53-3. So Mary Miles. Centre pass duties again to Luttrell. That's not going to work. Oh, sorry. Nagel. Kept in by Luttrell. Carroll, long pass, high up and under one. O'Neill gathers it. Can she find 4 goals to Gembrook Cockatoo? She can't. McGinley, that man of defence, rock solid all day. Swindle, Upton, and Rory Barr. 51 goals of difference, 54-3. Bingley, Swindle, Upton, to Rory Barr, who doesn't convert. And Delaney did well. Miles through the hands of Nagel and straight to Jess Hoskin, who finds Bingley. She just goes long, and Rory Barr stays in for the deflection off the post, and she'll make it 52 goals of difference, 55-3. Everything just working at the moment for Mount Ev. Been the story of the day, and that's going to work out as well. Jess Hoskin looked at Swindle, came back to Black. Hoskin, Swindle, Upton, puts it up for Rory Barr. It's through her hands, but she kept it in. Upton lost control of it. So did Miles. Eventually falls for Swindle. Here is Ava Upton. We'll have a look at goal, and Ava Upton will not convert. Sarah Delaney short to Crowley. Inboard to Nagel. Miles back to Nagel. Crowley. Luttrell through the hands of Upton. Carroll. Retreats back to Crowley. Luttrell. Way too much on that pass. So McGinley on the last line for Mount Ev. Black. Offload. That's a good one to Hoskin. Hoskin. Swindle. Upton. Looks at Bingley, goes for it. Rory Barr calls for it. Rory Barr gets it, and Rory Barr doesn't convert. Delaney did well. Nagel, good one. Williams, oh, she couldn't get it past Caitlin Black. Swindle. Here we go. Kayla Swindle, Ava Upton. She can make this 53 goals the difference, and she doesn't. Swindle cuts it off. It's going to come back. Rory Barr. This will make it 53 goals the difference, 56-3. So centre pass duties again with Mount Ev. Upton, Swindle, long pass, good one. and finds Rory Barr. This is 54 goals the difference, 57-3. And man, Ev just not putting the brakes on at all. They are fighting this out right to the end. Upton, Swindle. Rory Barr's in a one-on-one. It'll go back to Bingley. She'll go back to Swindle. Upton. Will she have a look? Yes, she will. And over Upton. No. Well done by Nagel. Oh, it's through the hands, though, of Williams, who's moved into the centre. Thumped away by Crowley. Swindle. Long pass. Rory Barr. Doesn't convert. Delaney. Couldn't keep it in. Upton. Rory Barr. Making 55 goals the difference, 58-3. Just continued dominance from Mount Ev. Swindle. Upton. Back to Swindle. And over Upton could make it 56 goals the difference here, and she does, 59-3. Luttrell from Williams. O'Neill. Carroll. And O'Neill just get a bit of contact there from McGinley. And she gets the fourth goal for Gembrook Cockatoo. Back to 55 goals the difference. Swindle. Long pass, good one. Here is Rory Barr. Back to 56 goals the difference, 60-4. Out it comes. Carroll. Luttrell. And Williams couldn't control it. McGinley. Black. Bingley. Upton. Rory Barr. Oh, keeps it in. It's going to eventually work out to Caitlin Black. It was an interesting one. Barr. Swindle. Back to Rory Barr. Found a pocket of space to work with, and she finds another goal. 61-4. 57 goals the difference. And Gabby Bingley again with the centre pass. Upton. Long pass. Good one. Rory Barr. Got it again. 58 goals the difference, 62-4, and that will do us for three-quarter time. And Mount Ev continue their dominance in this game in the Rochford Wines match the round between Gembrook Cockatoo and the Rovers. It is 58 goals the difference at the final change. We'll head off to a short break. When we come back, all the action from the final quarter.
Seconds till we're back on.
And welcome back to the Rochford Wines match of the round. It is the final quarter between Gembrook Cockatoo and Mount Evelyn. It's 58 goals the difference at the moment. So Gembrook with ball in hand for the moment. It comes out to Mary Miles, who's moved into wing defence. Lesky, who's playing mid-court wing attack. O'Neill. Lesky. Carroll up against Caitlin Black and Isbrolly. O'Neill, they might get the first goal of the last quarter. Gembrook Cockatoo. No, they don't. Caitlin Black, long pass, should work out. Jess Hoskins moved into the centre. Caitlin Hoskin back on court. Here is Ella Bayliss. Rory Barr off for this final quarter. Here's over Upton, who's moved into goal shoot up. And unable to convert. Nagel did well. Miles. Comes back to Nagel. Controlled it eventually. Carroll. O'Neill. Lesky. Carroll. Oh, Caitlin Black nearly snatched it. And she keeps it in play, and it is absolute chaos out here at the moment. Mount Ev still move the ball. Upton. Bayliss. Mount Ev defence, or Gembrook defence, in fact, holding up pretty well here, but eventually over Upton finds the goal and gets it out to a 59 goal difference. Biggest lead of the game so far, 63-4. Ella Bayliss. Over Upton. And here's Kate Hoskin, who's back in goals, and she can make this a 60 goal difference. No, over Upton might. No, she doesn't. Delaney. Back it comes. Delaney. Good one it was. Long pass. Nagel, whose handles it off. Hoskin. So it stays with Mary Miles and Gembrook Cockatoo. Nagel onto Lesky. Lesky back to Nagel. Crowley, who's playing centre this quarter. Long pass, and that's over everyone's head. McGinley did well. Who's played goalkeeper for the entirety of this second half. Just into McGinley. Caitlin Black, long pass. Might be over the head, no. Worked out in the end to Hoskin. Here is Ella Bayliss. Kate Hoskin. Could go back to Jess, but decides to go back to Bayliss. Jess Hoskin involved now. Here's Kate Hoskin. Bayliss, short to Upton. Doesn't like this spot. This might work, though. Kate Hoskin maybe, no. So the Gembrook defence doing a pretty good job here, and this is going to come back. Crowley, Miles. So Evelyn, Gembrook Cockatoo, in fact, on the counter-attack. Lesky, long pass, good one to Crowley. Here's O'Neill, who did well against McGinley, and O'Neill doesn't convert, but Caitlin Black just thumps it away. And this will stay with Carroll. So Jacqueline Carroll, can she convert? No, it goes back to Lesky. Caitlin Black not stopping at all. And there's the fifth goal for Gembrook Cockatoo, 5-63. Out it comes, Miles. O'Neill. Back to Crowley. Looked at Carroll. O'Neill eventually gathers it. And this might work out from Crowley, no. Just into McGinley with ball in hand. Black, long pass to Jess Hoskin, to Ella Bayliss. Long pass, Upton did well, got up at the right time, and here is Kate Hoskin. Can get it out to a 59 goal difference, and she does, 64-5. And they continue their dominance in this game, do the Rovers. Bayliss to Jess Hoskin, to Ava Upton, and here's Kate Hoskin for the new biggest lead of the game, and she's got it 65-5. Crowley, Carroll, Lesky, and way too much pepper on that one. So Mandev can counter-attack. Just into McGinley, short one to Caitlin Black. She goes back to McGinley. Moves it on to Jess Hoskin. Caitlin Black again. Good work right up the court here to Bingley. Kate Hoskin. Oh, eventually just pumped it off to Caitlin Black. Here is Bayliss. Upton. Bayliss. Wanted Upton, but then it goes to Kate Hoskin. Bayliss back to Caitlin Black. So the Gembrook defence have done pretty well in this last quarter so far. The best they've looked all game. Over Upton. Makes it 61 goals the difference. 66-5. Jess Hoskin with centre pass duties. Bayliss. Upton. Out wide. Good one it was. And Jess Hoskin finds Kate Hoskin, who makes it 62 goals the difference. 67-5. So Crowley in the middle. Back to Nagel, but beautifully cut off by Caitlin Black through the hands of Kate Hoskin. Didn't matter. Here's Bayliss. Kate Hoskin. Can she make it 63 goals the difference? No, she can't. And Nagel did really well and gets them moving. Here is Miles. Unsure where to go. Eventually out wide to Crowley. Crowley up the line to Lesky. Lesky gets them moving. This is a good one as well to Carroll. Here is O'Neill out the back. And the first real hole they found in the Mandev defence, but O'Neill doesn't convert. And once again, Mandev on the counter-attack. Caitlin Black just too good. Bingley, Bayliss. Quick one onto Hoskin. Short one to Upton. Does she keep it in play? No, but off the hands of Delaney, it seems. Upton. Bayliss. Hoskin. Ella Bayliss to Kate Hoskin. This might make it 63 goals, and it does. There we go, 68-5. They just continue on here to Mount Evelyn. Jess Hoskin, Kate Hoskin kept it in. Bayless through the hands. It'll work out anyway. Back to Jess Hoskin, and she's turned it straight over to Delaney and Gembrook Cockatoo on the counter attack. Miles gathered it beautifully. Lesky, Miles, Carroll. Caitlin Black did pretty well, but we'll stay with the Brookers. Can they find 6 goals? Mary Miles inboard to Nagel. Nagel with a couple of 1-2s to Lesky. Lesky, Carroll gathered it. In the end, wasn't super clean. Was there contact there from Black? No, umpire happy to allow that one. Crowley. Does Carroll, whose hand was that off? It was off Black. So shown some decent resolve in this last quarter of Gembrook Cockatoo. Found a couple of goals, have held up better defensively. Broly O'Neill. Can she make it 6 goals? Eventually the ball drops for her, and she does. So back to 62 goals the difference. 68-6. So Crowley came back to Nagel. Nagel, Bingley, does she keep it in? No. Nagel. To Crowley. Can she get it to O'Neill? No, she goes much longer to Carroll. Carroll across to Lesky. And O'Neill, she get over the back? She does. And a rare 1-on-1 win against Caitlin Black. And it's 2 goals in a row for Gembrook Cockatoo. Back to 61 the difference. They just find a little bit of momentum here to the Brookers towards the end of the game. Bayless, Kate Hoskin, Ella Bayless right in a measure here at the edge of the circle. Jess Hoskin. Kate Hoskin back to Ella Bayless. And Hoskin could get this back to 62 goals the difference. No, it was well done by Delaney. Delaney again for a second time in this passage. Miles, Delaney for a third time. Finds Nagel. Nagel, Lesky. Long pass, good run it was to Carroll. This is a good build-up here from Gembrook Cockatoo, but McGinley cuts it off. And now Mount Evelyn on the counter-attack. Hoskin, Bingley, Black, Kate Hoskin. Bayless, Upton, gets it over the back. And does she get it back to 62 goals? No, whose hand was it off? Off Nagel. So we'll stay with Mount Ev. Quick pass back to Kate Hoskin, who reacted well. Kate Hoskin, no. Fakes and then goes to Upton, and Upton gets this one. So back to 62 goals, the difference 69-7. Miles kept it in, Carroll. Lesky did nicely. And here is O'Neill, who's had a really good couple of moments in this last quarter. And Broly O'Neill finds another goal. Back to 61 goals the difference, 8-69. Hoskin got it from Bingley. Bayless, just happy to hold up for the moment. It'll come back to Ella Bayless. Upton, all the way across to Kate Hoskin. And Ava Upton can get this back to 62 goals the difference, and she does, 70-8. Lesky. Over the head, and Caitlin Black will cut this off. Hoskin of the Jess variety. Bayless wasted no time to Bingley. Kate Hoskin, Jess Hoskin, back to Kate Hoskin. 2 Hoskin sisters working in tandem, and then Ava Upton gets involved and finds another goal, gets it back to 63 goals the difference, 71-8. Hoskin, Bayless, Upton, Hoskin. Can she make it 64 goals the difference? She can, 72-8. So Crowley in the centre, out to Lesky. And off the hands of Lesky. So it'll come back to McGinley. Short to Black. Black out to Ella Bayless. Looked at Hoskin. Came back to Black. Jess Hoskin. Upton. Waits. And then eventually goes back to Jess Hoskin. She goes short to Bayless. Upton. Kate Hoskin. She can make this 65 goals the difference. And she does. 73-8. They just continue this dominance in this game to Mount Ev. Probably won't crack the 100, but 80 goals still certainly within reach. Bayliss and Hoskin, Upton. 66 goals the difference, 74 to 8. Crowley, Carroll. Got to get past Caitlin Black. Eventually she does. Lesky to O'Neill, who've just got front spot on McGinley. O'Neill doesn't convert. So McGinley on the last line for the Rovers. Short to Black. Goes back to McGinley. Bayliss calls for it. Was honoured. Clever underground pass worked out to Bingley. Comes back to Black. Bayliss again involved. Offloaded it nicely. Upton received it from Hoskin. And over Upton makes it 67 goals the difference. 75 to 8. They just keep on finding ways to goal to Mount Ev. Bayliss. Upton. Kate Hoskin. And that was just a little bit too easy for the Rovers. Kate Hoskin makes it 68 goals the difference. 76 to 8. Crowley. Miles. Carroll. Did well. Lesky. Crowley couldn't keep it in play. So once again, just into McGinley on the last line. Oh! O'Neill loses her footing. She's okay. So play resumes. Bayliss. Hoskin. This is Kate Hoskin. Could have gone back to Jess, but decided to go to Bayliss, and he's over Upton. And she finds another goal. 69 goals the difference. 77 to 8. So Jess Hoskin again in the centre. Ella Bayliss. Kate Hoskin can make this 70 goals the difference, and she does. 78 to 8. Mary Miles. Black, does she get under control? No, O'Neill eventually ends up with it, and she finds another goal, gets it back to 69 goals the difference. 9 to 78. Bayliss. Hoskin. Jester Kate. No. Offside, I think it was. So a reprieve for the Mount Ev defence. Delaney to Miles. Looked at Nagel, but she'll go back to Delaney. Offload's good one it was to Crowley. Gets it away just in time, but she's coughed it straight up to Caitlin Black. Hoskin. Jester Kate. Here is Upton. And straight back to 70 goals a difference. 79 to 9. Out it comes Lesky. O'Neill. And Briley O'Neill. Can Gembrook Cockatoo get double digits? They can. So they get there eventually, the Brookers. 10 to 79, I should say. Black. Bayliss. Upton. Knocked out of play by Nagel. Upton. Finds another goal, and she's really found her groove now. It's over Upton. Not missing too many. And that will do us in the Rochford Wines match of the round 2 between Gembrook Cockatoo and Mount Evelyn, and a clinical performance by the Rovers sees them take the win by 70 goals, and they are 2 from 2 in season 2025. The reigning runners-up from last season, starting the year well and really proving that they are once again a serious contender in season 2025. Don't forget, at 2:20 p.m, we do have the footy between Gembrook Cockatoo and Mount Evelyn through our Facebook page, also through the local footy hub and Yarra Valley FM 99.1, so all that action not too far away. And that is the final score here, 80 to 10 to Mount Evelyn, and we will head off to the footy pretty shortly, so we'll see you then, and goodbye for now. No. It's just a pre-record, yep.
Just let me know when you
Yeah,
the stream, dude.
Yep. So he might even if we just pull his back. Yeah. I'll just wait for the